Thank you for that wonderful music, and I'll usually see my little okie dokie. Here we go. All right. So hello, everyone, and welcome home. Here in the Center for Spiritual Living, I am one of the practitioners. I've been a practitioner now for 8 years. I'm a member of the center for almost 12 years. So it's very good to be here, and thank you for your coming this Sunday. At the Center of Spiritual Living here, we honor all paths to the divine. And so it doesn't matter what your faith has been or where you are in your path, you're welcome here. It makes many of us feel like actually we finally come home because everyone embraces us, and we do this with a joy here. So today we celebrate being together and the love of each other and our spirituality. So we hope that it feels that way to you. Now we're going to go into our announcements this morning. We like to get the good news out right away. So Joe Elbers will be giving us our first announcements, and then Dr. Vern will be complementing that announcement.
If there's time for him. I mean, I'm up here first. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I want to, first of all, welcome everybody. Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Yeah, did anybody bring leftover turkey? Good. Okay, so I want to tell you that right now our theme for November, as you know, is Living Everyday Abundance. And today we have Michelle Scavetta. Am I saying that right? Okay, and she'll be delivering the message, Accessing Our Divine Inheritance. And next Sunday we have the wonderful David Howard coming in to do the service. So we're looking forward to that. I'm going to make it short here today because of Dr. Vern wants to say quite a few things here. But I do want to mention that Kenny Johnson, bless her heart, set up a local benefactor for November, December called the Crisis Center in Littleton, Colorado. They have many families in needs. They do not need clothes, though, okay? They do not need clothes. But we can help them in two ways, by bringing in donations on Sunday, so we can leave them here. And you can help also by adopting a family. So on the back there on that counter, I put the Adopt a Family form back there, so you can pick one up if you want to do that and fill that out. And I've also put on there the donation drive need list, and that's right here. Again, they do not need clothes, but they need toiletries, they need shelter items, pillows, etc., etc., etc. So believe it or not, guys, I'm going to end with that, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Vern. Thank you. You can applause now.
All right. Well, I have two things I want to say to all of you, and that is thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we started our pledge drive off last Sunday, and I was just starstruck. We raised over $49,000 in one fell swoop. Our goal is 100,000, but we're a long ways toward that. And then we also had someone contribute 1 year's rent. An anonymous donor contributed 1 year's rent, and then in my own way, I always have to keep track of all these things. I added it up, and it was over $70,000 that we have towards our goal. So it tells me our hearts are open, and I just cannot say thank you enough. And we continue our pledge drive today. Catherine is our usher today, and she has pledge cards if anyone is in need of those. And she has pens too. So we'll take care of anything you have. I think that's my announcement for today. Look at that. Sweet and short. Thank you. Oh, what days will we have service in December? Yes, we'll have service every Sunday except the 25th. And then on the 1st of January, we're having a very unusual service which is a goodbye to 2022 and a welcome to 2023. So we'll have one of those little water pools. I'm exaggerating, just a little bowl probably, where we'll write down anything we want to say goodbye to for this year. And then we will set our intentions for 2023. And that's a very powerful process. Did I answer your question and more? Thank you. Colleen?
So we don't need to wear our swimsuits then for that pool. I was worried there. I thought, oh, mine doesn't fit anymore. Normally, if anyone is here for the first time, we welcome them. And I know every one of you, which is really sweet for me. So thank you for being here. But, well, she gets a special introduction. Okay. Yeah, I think now everyone, though, has an opportunity to greet each other. So feel free to stand up, bump elbows, hugs, just say hi, wave, salute, whatever you want to, greeting each other this morning. We're definitely a shy bunch of people here. All right, so now you get to sit back and you get to enjoy today's special service, and we're going to start that with our talented music team here. Thank you, all led by Alicia Archibald. Please
Here we go.
carry on.
Gratitude before, gratitude behind, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Gratitude before, gratitude behind. Gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 Let's just think about those words. Think about what you're grateful for. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. And I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful.
And now I'd like to do the invocation for us. And I've chosen some special words from Ernest Holmes. I think that Ernest, as our teacher, is very good at making it very concise and very clear for us. So here's our invocation, if we should. God is right where I am. God is what I am. All that God has is mine now. I enter into the conscious possession of this divine allness, this universal bounty, this perfect reality here today. I know that it is manifesting in my life, here, now, and always. Please join me in saying, and so it is. If you would now, let's just relax in your seats. Lean back in your chair. Know that you are completely safe, fully loved, and truly divine. For now, we will just take a moment of silence. So now just take a little walk with me. Here we are, leaving Thanksgiving, all of our thanks in abundance known, as we transition into the winter month of December. And imagine, if you would, that you are out in the middle of a meadow. It is winter, and gentle snowflakes begin to fall. You feel the coolness on your cheeks. And you see the beauty and the individuality of every snowflake as they gently touch your nose, your eyelashes. And now you just breathe in deeply. Breathe in that fresh air. Delight in the newness and the relaxation of nature all around you. For though it might appear dormant, it's not. It's full of life. Everything around us is just resting a bit. As we can rest at this moment, as we feel our peace, our joy, and the love that surrounds us. Just raise your face to the sky and feel more of that freshness, the cool flakes on your face. And express the great gratitude for the miracles that unfold season to season, the beauty of the mountains, and the wonderful life we lead here in Colorado. For all of this is filled with the abundance of joy, of peace. And know that when you look down at your boots and the ground, that you are held here, safe and sound. And that as we leave that vision, we come back here to this center where each of us holds you in love and offer to you the peace of the knowing of the divine, your eternal truth. And breathe in one more deep breath and release. And just say thank you. Thank you for all the goodness that is here, as much as willingness you have to accept. And as we just return to this room, let us gently open our eyes. And so it is. And yes, I'm on a roll today with Ernest. I needed to, this week, take some time to get connected. Watching what's happening in the world is hard. But Ernest helped me. So I picked up the book that I remember so well when I started my classes. I was confused. I was reading Science of Mind, and I got frustrated because I thought, I don't understand this. The law. Well, there's a law. There's the United States law. Where's this law of God, of the divine, of the universe come from? What in the world does it mean, and where do I fit? And then I read this book. This thing called You. And it put it all in perspective for me. And let me summarize with Ernest's words exactly what this all meant. I realize that there is a divine presence at the center of my being. I let this recognition flow through my entire consciousness. I let it reach down into the very depths of my being. I rejoice in this realization. The perfect life of God is in and through me, in every part of my being. As the sun dissolves the mist, so my acceptance of life dissolves all pain and discord. I am free because the spirit of life in me is perfect. It remolds and recreates my body after the likeness of the divine pattern of body, which exists in the mind of God. Even now, the living spirit is flowing through me. I open wide the doorway of my consciousness to its influx. I permit this physical body to receive the living spirit in every action, function, cell, and organ of my body. I know for sure that my whole being manifests a life that is love, peace, harmony, strength, and joy of the Spirit which indwells in me, which is incarnated in me, which is my entire being. I am now more vigorous and whole. I possess the vitality of the infinite. I am strong and I am well. The life of the Spirit is my life. All of its strength is my strength. Its power is my power. Its body is my body. Every breath I draw is a breath of perfection, vitalizing, upbuilding, and renewing every cell of my body and my mind.
So, happy to be here this Sunday. Hi. How we doing? Oh, in looking for a song for this morning to sing, I was thinking about, the gratitude, living in gratitude, being in gratitude, and everything is gratitude. And the song that came to me was John Lennon's Imagine. And if all the things in this song were going on, how much gratitude we'd all live in. So we'll have Dale start us out with this one. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you care. No need for greed or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one.
And now it's time for our special speaker for our service today. Dr. Vern introduced, and Joe also indicated that our guest speaker today is Reverend Michelle Scavetta. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about our wonderful guest, because she's going to address us today by giving us an opportunity of assessing our divine inheritance. So Reverend Michelle is a powerful speaker, she's a writer, and she's a teacher. She is an advocate for youth and is passionate about supporting women in healing from trauma. Reverend Michelle is devoted to creating a sacred space for healing, for growth, and for transformation, where people feel empowered to live their best lives and share their unique gifts with the world. And now, we welcome Reverend Michelle. Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Sunday to all of you. Made it out here after hopefully just a gratitude-filled week, holiday week, Thanksgiving, just be in a space of abundance and possibly family, community, loved ones. So thank you for being here. So I am one of the assistant ministers at Mile High Church, and I have had some of my colleagues who have been here before me, but I'm excited because this is my first time being with you all, and it is such a joy. So when I received the invitation to speak today, I was like, absolutely. I love connecting with communities and seeing how other communities do it. And what I've heard about you all is that you are a heart-centered community and that you welcome guest speakers with open arms. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of what I felt just coming in. So, as you were all coming in, I was getting a sense, for people, some people who I had to keep an eye on, but so good to be here. So my talk title that was shared, Accessing Our Divine Inheritance. And so that title was definitely divinely inspired, so I had to sit with it. It's like, okay, now what does that mean? What is our divine inheritance? And so what came to me, as far as what I think my divine inheritance is, it's connecting with that divine nature that is within each one of us. And as we're able to do that, I believe that we're all here by divine appointment at this specific time in human history because we all have unique gifts to share. I love the readings that were shared. I love the music that was shared. It's like, do I even need to say anything else? Because it was just so powerful, and it was just so, exactly what was coming through as I was writing this talk. It's about connecting in. And as we connect in, as we tap into that truth of who we are and who we came here to be, limitless possibilities are presented to us. But sometimes, I know for me, I'll speak for myself, I won't speak for anybody else. Sometimes I notice that I get in my own way from that abundance that is, before me. And so I limit myself from accessing all that can be accessed for me, because I think each of our divine inheritance is slightly different. I think we all have access to, abundance of possibilities, abundance of financial abundance, health, wellness, you name it, it's all accessible to us, but in different ways for each individual person. And so one of the things that I was thinking about was, our Science of Mind philosophy, which was also shared earlier, is, we believe that God is our source. Yes? Yes. Okay. We believe that we are unique individuations of the divine.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. We believe that, we are fully supported in every moment, whether we necessarily experience it or feel it or not. We are supported and guided in every moment.
Yes.
We believe that our thoughts are creative.
Yes.
And so we have the power to truly create our life based on what our thoughts are. And so, why is it that some of us, maybe not everybody, but some of us, aren't necessarily living the exact life that we want to live? If you think about the creative process, so if you can imagine the teaching symbol, the circle with the V in the center. So our thoughts are creative, so we have an idea, a thought in mind, so it's at the top of the V. it descends down into the fertile soil, the creative medium, which is the law, where it gets nurtured, where it gets supported, and then it descends down into form, into manifestation, into body. Sounds simple, right? And again, yet, some of us don't necessarily have every single thought that we think doesn't necessarily manifest. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter, whatever the thought is. But why is that? It's that creative medium, that middle section, the law, because what does the law say? The law always says yes. Doesn't care what it is, what the thought is, says yes, absolutely, gotcha. However, so if I plant the seed for abundance, and it comes into that creative soil, and all of a sudden it interacts with some old limiting beliefs, because that hang out in that creative soil. And the old limiting beliefs, it's another thought, and the universe says, yes, absolutely. So if I have so I'm calling in abundance, and then all of a sudden here's a limiting belief of not enough. I'm feeling unworthy. I can't have that much. And the universe is constantly saying yes. And so it kind of, cancels out that intention, that initial thought. And so it's that in that space of the creative medium, that space of limiting beliefs, whether they're our beliefs, whether they're beliefs that have been passed down by family, whether they're beliefs of our culture, our community. That's the area that we have to notice, become aware of, because once we're aware of those limiting beliefs, that's when we're at choice. That's when we can weed our garden, so to speak. So we have the seed of thought going into the soil, becoming the plant. That's how we, teach it to our kids in youth ministry: seed, soil, plant. But if you're a gardener or you know about gardening, you have weeds that come up all the time. Those weeds are those old beliefs, the limiting thoughts. And as a gardener, you get to create your spiritual practice around weeding the garden. Sometimes it seems like we're doing that every day. And so we have to do the same thing for the garden of our mind. Weeding that garden of old limiting beliefs. And sometimes those beliefs have really strong roots. And so it seems like we're just weeding that same darn weed over and over and over. And that's okay. But the more that we, weed our garden, the more that we weaken those beliefs. And so maybe instead of, an old thought coming up all of the time as far as, of unworthiness or even self-doubt. Anybody ever experienced self-doubt? No, just me. Okay, it's fine. But those thoughts that come in as we're weeding, maybe those thoughts start to have a little bit more space in between them. And maybe new things that we're calling in to manifest are able to come through. And so weeding our garden, part of it, as far as accessing our divine inheritance, it calls us to maybe step beyond our comfort zone. For some of us, those limiting beliefs, they're comfortable because they're familiar. And so stepping beyond that comfort zone, some of us, maybe it's just, a baby step. Some of us may be called to take a leap beyond our comfort zone into a life that is full on living who we came here to be and showing up in this powerful way, allowing our divine light to shine through. And so I want you to just think back to a time where a big leap that you took in your life. It could have been recently, it could have been years ago, but what was that leap that you took that propelled you beyond your comfort zone? Maybe you were called to make a move to a new city. Maybe you were called to check out a new spiritual community. Maybe you were called to talk to that certain someone that you had your eye on, initiate conversation. Maybe your leap was starting a family. Whatever it was, I want you to remember, if you can, remember what did it feel like? before you took that leap and even as you were taking that leap? What were the emotions around that? Bless you. For some of us, maybe there was fear. Maybe there was self-doubt. Maybe there was excitement, possibility. Maybe there was, just this uncertainty of, well, if I take this leap, then what? Maybe it was just a combination of all sorts of different emotions. But then what happened after you took that leap? I imagine in some way it all worked out. Whether, the leap itself was your growing edge. Because once you step beyond that comfort zone, you automatically start creating a new comfort zone of familiar places, spaces, people, ideas, beliefs. But for us to be able to access our divine inheritance, we can't stay where we are because it's calling us to grow. It's calling us to show up bigger in life in some way. For me, the biggest leap that came to my mind a few years ago, and I had been serving in the youth ministry at Mile High Church for 2 years. I was working with preschool, but I had this calling to work with high school teenagers. I know some people think those people are scary, and that's okay. But Dr. Barry Ebert was the youth minister or youth director at the time, and he had called me into his office. And he let me know that the position for the teen director was opening, and he was inviting me to step into that position. And so I said, well, thank you, but I've never worked with teens before, so I don't even know, I don't think I'm quite ready yet. And so he said that he had spoken to a colleague, Reverend Cynthia James, and he said the same thing to her. He said, well, I don't know if she's ready. I don't want to push her too soon, that kind of thing. And Reverend Cynthia looked at him, just dead in the eye. She's ready. Push her. And so, that nudge came from Dr. Barry and Reverend Cynthia. And from that moment, I had served and supported youth and families for over 16 years as the Mile High Teen Director. In that time, I have also completed practitioner training. I've also completed ministerial school. And had I known all that was going to unfold prior to making that leap, I might have talked myself out of it. Like, oh, that's not. I think you got the wrong number, But I listened to my heart call, and I just trusted. And I knew that whatever I didn't know in that moment, I would learn, and I would grow. And there was a team of people around me who would support me in this new position, in this new, space in my life. But it was scary, showing up and talking to the teens, but I really just allowed the Spirit to, move through me, to express through me, because I knew, and I know now, that, I am called to be an advocate for youth, as was shared earlier. And what is my next step as far as working with youth? I have no idea. But I just keep saying yes, and I keep showing up. And I keep taking baby steps. Because, that big leap, holy buckets, scary, but baby steps, a little less scary, And as long as you're taking baby steps, you're still moving in the direction, that Spirit has guided you here to step into. And so recently, one of my favorite movies of all time was playing. It's a little bit older. Came out in 2006, which feels like it was like yesterday, but when you look at the calendar, not yesterday. So the movie is called The Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. Some of you have heard of it, have seen it. And so this movie, Queen Latifah, is playing the main character who is truly living in her comfort zone of, she's working at this dead-end job, and she has this pretty well-oiled routine, day-to-day things that she does, and then she has this possibilities book. And so if you've ever done a vision board, this is just in book format, but it's goals and things that she wants to do someday in her life. And she's an aspiring chef. And so she cooks for other people, but doesn't eat her own cooking. She eats, TV dinners kind of thing. But this one day, she receives this terminal diagnosis that literally changed her life. She is told that she has 3 weeks left to live. And so she doesn't want to live with any regrets. And so she's inspired to quit her job and to take this trip, international trip that she had been wanting to go on for years and years. She turned in all of her, stocks and bonds, cashed them all out. And in those 3 weeks, my perception watching the movie, I think she lived more in those 3 weeks than she lived in her lifetime. Because she just allowed herself to say yes to new experiences, new opportunities, anything that showed up, she said yes to. And even though that there was fear showing up, she took off. And I won't give you the rest of the storyline in case you haven't seen it. But I think that movie is so much in line with principle, with Science of Minds, because the moment she changed her mind, the moment she shifted her perspective, the moment she shifted her outlook, literally her life changed and opportunities opened up. And so what if that's true for us as well? Opening up to new possibilities, opening up to the bounty that is before us, that is waiting for us to say yes, to accept, to allow into our life. Is anybody else interested in opening up to more abundance?
Yes.
Maybe, okay, more possibilities in your life, And so the first step is noticing, do I have anything, in my conscious mind or even subconscious mind that is in the way? Sometimes I find that I'm the one in the way. I was talking to a friend of mine recently who was telling me about somebody who she's working with that started an online business and within 3 years is making 6 figures. And I was like, my friend called me out. She's like, well, what was that reaction? I'm like, well, I think it's great for her, but there was this doubt of, I don't think that'll ever happen for me. And she's like, well, that's right there, that's where we have to work on, Because if I don't even think it's possible, the universe is like, yep, you're right, And so it takes work, and so how do we open up to new possibilities? You're here, being in spiritual community, diving into spiritual principle, expanding our comfort zone. I imagine some of you take classes and, stay open to possibilities. Ernest Holmes, he was an advocate for staying open at the top. Thomas Troward, one of my favorite quotes from him is, principle is not bound by precedence. So just because it hasn't happened yet, doesn't mean that it could not happen at any moment. And so paying attention to our thoughts, paying attention to any resistance that shows up, and if stuff shows up, notice it, and then you can make a different choice. And again, it's just like pulling out those weeds. Sometimes you might have to do it over and over again, but the more you're able to just continue to work on it, you're going to notice more abundance coming into your life. And so I just want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself at this ocean of plenty, this ocean of abundance that is before you. And as you walk up to the ocean, I want you to gather some of the water, and perhaps you have a cup or some sort of vessel with you that you're gathering some of the abundance that is before you. And then bring it back with you. And just feel free to open your eyes when you're ready. And notice, how big is the cup that you have that you're gathering the abundance in? I feel like some of us go to the ocean of abundance with a cup the size of a thimble. And it's not about judging what size your cup is, but notice, can you expand your cup? We can always refill the cup, but what if you got a bigger cup? And so I have 2 keys to leave you with today as we access our divine inheritance. The first key is pay attention to any limiting thoughts, any self-doubt that you have as you're calling in more possibilities in your life. What limiting beliefs might show up for you? And notice them and allow them to release with each time that they come up. And then the second key is to ask yourself, how big is my cup? In this very moment, how big is my cup? And how big would I like my cup to be? That's another great question. How big do I think my cup could be? And if you notice that in this moment that your cup is smaller than you'd like it to be, that's okay. But that's where the work you get to do to expand the possibilities, to expand how much you bring into your life, to expand what you will allow into your life. And so this week, what I invite us to ask ourselves is how much success, abundance, love, possibility, and am I willing to allow into my life? And then I invite you to take one step towards that divine inheritance, that doorway that is your doorway to your divine inheritance. Notice the doorway, and then I invite you to take a step through the doorway and to allow the flow to come in, because we're all part of the flow. We're all part of God, and God wants us to be abundant in all ways. And we just know that in every moment that we are guided and supported every step of the way. And so even if we don't know what the full picture looks like, one baby step in the right direction will keep us moving to our divine inheritance. So I just invite you to close your eyes as we anchor in prayer. For I know that right where we are, God is moving in, through, and around each and every one of us. For there is no place, no situation where God is not. For God is all that has been, and all that is yet to be. And right where we are a divine vessel through which God expresses easily and effortlessly. And in every moment, we are tapped into the bounty of plenty. We are tapped into the divine inheritance that is our divine birthright. And as we say yes to life, as we say yes to spirit, as we say yes to our divine inheritance, we allow that possibility to flow. And I know that any false beliefs, any old ideas keeping us stuck, keeping us in our own way, we just release them into the nothingness from which they came, and we allow God to show us the way. We allow God to guide us to our next perfect step. And how good it is to know that we are amongst spiritual community that supports us, that guides us, that uplifts us on this journey of remembering our divine nature. And how good it is to know that we are here by divine appointment to share our unique gifts with the world. And as we say yes to life, we allow our light to shine even brighter. And so I just give great thanks for all that has been, all that is yet to be, all that is unfolding in divine and perfect order. And so it is.
I am the place where God lives, rules and reason has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God is, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I invite you all to join us in that song. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
All right, let's show our appreciation for a great message. Reverend Michelle, thank you so much. That was so good. You know, God always works, right? And boy, did I need that message. There's a door that I have to open, and all I've been doing is looking at a crack of it. So thank you very much. Very, very eloquent, very spiritual, and very much from the heart. We certainly thank you for joining us today. And now it's time for our offering. We know that willingness to give it's what's important, and we can give in so many ways. We can give our time, our talent, we can give our treasures. And whatever we give, it always comes back to us many times. And all that you give deepens your connection with the divine source of infinite prosperity. So at this time, if you have already given online, or if you're giving it this time, please hold your offering in your hand and place it over your heart. Even if you've given electronically, it's your beating heart that we appreciate. And say with me now, I give this gift for you. Give this gift. I give this gift for me. Knowing that as I give, so shall I receive. And sealing with, and so it is.
I am open to receive, I am open to receive all of my treasure. I am open to receive, I am open to receive all of my treasure. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything God gives me everything I need. Yeah. Have a blessed week.